Let's talk about compartmentalization. Compartmentalization is a great skill to have for all areas of life. For the sake of this conversation, compartmentalization is your ability to make sure that your thoughts and your energy and your focus level is entirely directed towards things that can help you currently in this moment or in this setting that you're in. There's certainly micro, more moment-to-moment, maybe pitch-to-pitch compartmentalization. Those things get talked about a lot when it's batter's box routines, routines that happen on the pitcher's mound, things like that we'll cover in a different video. And there's certainly a lot of overlap between those and more of the bigger picture compartmentalization that we are talking about. But today we're going to talk about compartmentalization from one area of your life to the next, one part of your day to the next, and maybe one area of practice to the next, getting down to be that small. Your ability to compartmentalize from one area of your life to the next, falls under something like this. So for you guys are in school. If you have a test that you had that day that maybe it didn't go well, didn't go as well as you had hoped, are you letting those emotions and those thoughts bleed into your practice that's after school? Or do you have a test the next day that when you're at practice, you know that you can't study for that test at practice, but yet your thoughts are still on something that's in the future that has no place where you're currently at. So your ability to compartmentalize, I'm at practice right now, that's where I need to be. I'm in the classroom right now, that's where I need to be. I'm at the dinner table with my family right now, that's where I need to be. That's really a main focus that we're talking about. When I'm working with athletes, working with a few of them this spring, that this is a skill set that we are certainly working on. Usually those types of lack of compartmentalization or lack of present moment focus usually falls into two categories. First one would be distractions. So a lot of different things can distract us. So sometimes it's spending too much time on a phone, the people you surround yourself with that are not leading you in the right direction or not allowing you to stay focused on the task at hand. They're bringing you and pulling you in different directions. So those are distractions that take you out of being able to compartmentalize and be where you're at and keep all of your thoughts and focus where you're supposed to be that can help you right now. The other one is either frustrations or anxieties. So this certainly comes into play in more of like the micro sense, pitch to pitch, moment to moment, fear about the upcoming result, frustration over the previous pitch call or whatever it is, but really in a bigger picture sense too. So again, maybe the test didn't go the way that you had wanted to in school that day. That's a frustration that's ultimately keeping you from being fully focused on the task at hand and be able to compartmentalize your thoughts and give all of your thoughts and attention to the practice at hand. So there's distractions and then there's anxieties and frustrations, and usually an inability to compartmentalize and stay present falls into one of those two areas. So what can we do about that? What are some tangible skill set things or steps that we can take to try to overcome that? The first thing is being able to just recognize where your thoughts are at any given time. Making a habit of checking in with yourself in the moment, asking yourself if what you're thinking about, what you're focusing on is appropriate for the current moment is always a good tool to have, but it's especially important when we're talking about compartmentalization because it allows us to know if we need to change. So recognizing that I'm currently having thoughts that don't help me and don't serve me in this game, in this practice, in the classroom, at the dinner table, whatever it is, that's the first step. Second step is identifying who around you or what around you can lean into to get you back into the right frame of mind for where you're currently at. So a very common one, and we preach this a lot to our athletes in the organization here, and it's also something that I talk about with the athletes that I work with directly. Who are the teammates that you can go to, not to tell them that you're not feeling present, but just that you can lean into, start a conversation with, ask something about the game, something like that can keep you present in the moment. Who are those people or what are those things that you can go to immediately to say, I need to get more here right now, I'm going to use those things. The third would just be other tools that you can use. Two main ones that come to mind that we end up talking about a lot. The first one is the ability to journal. So this is not something that is always available to you in the moment or what you can do right now. One of the athletes that I'm working with is really into journaling, and the biggest thing that he journals for is not necessarily for the learning aspect of journaling, but the fact that he's able to put something on paper, his thoughts, his feelings, his emotions, all those different types of things on paper allows him to turn the page, so to speak, to what's next in his life. So has a bad game, writes all of that down. The homework that he has when he gets home is a lot easier to do because he put his thoughts and emotions somewhere that he can go back to revisit later if he needs to, but they're there. There's nothing else we need to worry about. You do the homework when you get home and be present there. The car ride home with his parents is a lot easier because he's able to be present with them. If he's going out to Chipotle with his buddies, that's a lot easier too because he's not allowing those feelings and those thoughts to have a place when it's just time to be a good friend at that point in time. And then the other one that I think is an important thing that you can use more in the moment is the ability to attach a physical thing to a boundary around your thoughts. So for example, when it's time for school, go throughout your entire day with school, be present there, but as soon as you put your cleats on or your shoes on for practice, it's time to think only about baseball until those cleats come off. That's a physical thing that's attached to parameters around your thoughts. That's just one example of that. It can be when you step on the field, you cross the fence line. That's more what you're thinking of when there's a boundary. Whatever works best for you, but I encourage you, if you're somebody that struggles with compartmentalization, and ultimately everybody can get better at this, to be able to attach something physical to it so you know right now it's time to just be here where I'm at. All my thoughts, all my energy are going to this place. So that's compartmentalization in a larger sense, in a nutshell. Hope you guys enjoyed this talk and this conversation on that. And there'll be many more videos to come.